As a content creator and filmmaker, there are so many tools out there to tell your story, but one of my favorites is a drone. As you can see, I have a lot of them. With a drone, you're able to capture such epic establishing shots and creative angles that just wouldn't be possible otherwise, and it's a great tool to film yourself when you're alone. But when you're a beginner and you're looking to buy your first drone, it can actually be quite confusing and hard to know which drone you should buy and why. So that's why I thought in this video I would share with you guys what kind of drones are available, which one you should go for depending on what you're hoping to achieve. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna share with you guys which drone I use most on a daily basis. First, I want to start off this video by saying hi, my name's Teppo. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this video and feel like it provides value, make sure you subscribe because I'd love to have you a part of this community. So when I got my first drone, it was the DJI Phantom 3 Professional. And I gotta say, drones have come a long way because back in the days, the Phantom 3 Professional was really big and cumbersome and not the easiest to bring along with you when you wanted to get aerial shots. I mean, in no way was it as difficult as before where you literally had to rent a helicopter in order to get the aerial shots, but still, the drones that are available today have come so far, they've become so portable and so powerful, so we're living in a good day and age when it comes to aerial photography and videography. Okay, so when it comes to the drones I'm gonna talk about today, I'm gonna break them down into three categories. First, we have the content creation drones, then we have the professional filmmaker drones, and then we have FPV drones. Three different categories, totally different kinds of drones for different kinds of people, and that's why I thought I would break down each category for you to then decide which drone would best suit for your needs. Okay, so first we have the content creator drones. These are drones that are very light, small, easy to take along with you, but still get the job done for what you need. And a good example of this would be, for example, the DJI Mini 4 Pro. This little guy is only 249 grams, really light, portable, easy to take with you everywhere you go, but still shoots a really high quality image with 4K. You have D-Log to give that nice flat picture profile so you can color grade it whatever direction you want. You also have the option of filming both landscape and vertical, which is really awesome if you're filming long form videos, but then as well you want nice drone footage for your short form videos. It's also got a lot of intelligent shooting modes in order to help you film yourself. For example, with Active Track, you can just track yourself and it's gonna follow you around, which is really handy because we don't always have someone else with us to help us film. And it's also very affordable at $759, which means it's not gonna break the bank, which is important when you're first starting out because you're not yet making too much money from content creation. Now, there are as well some cons with the Mini 4 Pro. For example, because it is so small and not as powerful, if you're flying in really harsh winds, it's not gonna fare very well. For example, I was in Iceland and I had the Mini 4 Pro with me and I thought I would get some nice car shots following my brother, and I had to tell my brother Miko to slow down to 20 kilometers to be able to follow and keep up with him, and then I just had to speed it up in post afterwards. But it didn't do so well in the really harsh conditions. Another con is because it does have a smaller sensor size, it's not gonna do very well in low light conditions, so you have to really have the optimal lighting and weather conditions if you are gonna be flying with the Mini 4 Pro. So that's all for the content creator drones. So that's for people who really want that lightweight, easy to take along with you, gets the job done kind of drone. And then we have the filmmaker drones. These are gonna be the more heavy duty drones for the people that want the best possible photo and video content that they can make. This would be something like the Inspire 3 or the Mavic 3 Pro. We're not even gonna go talking about the Inspire 3 because that bad boy costs $15,000 US or even more. So it's just not even possible for most people to get. So instead we're gonna talk about the Mavic 3 Pro, which is a lot more accessible when it comes to finances. The Mavic 3 Pro is a high-end design drone for professional photographers and filmmakers. It's got a 4/3 CMOS sensor, giving you exceptional image quality, nice dynamic range, and great capabilities in low light situations. And it can capture up to 5K footage and 20 megapixels for photos. The Mavic 3 Pro as well has a triple lens camera system, which gives you a lot of versatility for shooting with different focal lengths in different scenarios. You also got really powerful propellers, meaning you can fly in pretty much the harshest windy conditions like in Iceland, which unlike the Mini 4 Pro is just not possible. As well, the battery life of one of these big bad boys is 46 minutes, meaning you have a lot of time to fly somewhere, get the shots that you need, and then fly back without having to change a whole lot of batteries. And last, the Mavic 3 Pro has a really advanced omnidirectional sensor system, meaning you're not likely to crash, which we all don't want to happen because there's no worse feeling than crashing a drone. It feels so wrong. It doesn't feel good at all. Now, the cons for the Mavic 3 Pro. Well, it's one of the more expensive consumer drones you can buy from DJI at $2,200 US. So if you aren't doing a lot of paid commercial work, you probably shouldn't invest that much money into a drone when you can get something like the Mini 4 Pro, which is a lot more affordable and still gonna give you high quality footage. Another con is the fact that the drone is really big, and as well, the batteries are big and heavy, meaning it's a lot of weight to carry, and it's definitely not as convenient, especially when you're out hiking or out and about in the city. This is the kind of drone that you want to take on more professional sets where there's more time to set it up, do your thing, and come back rather than this kind of run and gun filmmaking. And the last con is because of its weight, there's a lot more restrictions with laws, so you gotta take that into account when flying with the Mavic 3 Pro. Okay, the last category of drones we're gonna talk about are FPV drones. For the longest time, flying FPV really felt like this insider club because you had to, learn how to build your own FPV drone, and dealing with the charging and discharging of the batteries felt really scary and overwhelming, and it was just for a select few. That is until DJI released their own FPV drones that became all of a sudden a lot more consumer friendly. The latest FPV drone from DJI is the Avata 2, which goes for around $1,000 US for the drone and the goggles and the motion controller. When it comes to FPV drones, you get totally different types of shots compared to the traditional drones because you can just swoop down and do crazy maneuvers and really fly close to things because you're wearing the goggles and you can see in real time where you're flying. It really feels like you yourself are flying through the air with the drone. It's a really cool experience. So what are the pros and cons when it comes to FPV drones? Well, the pros are that you can get really immersive shots, really exciting shots that keep the attention of your viewer. You get closer and in places that just wouldn't be possible with a traditional drone. Now the cons, and there are a lot of them. Well, first, there's a steep learning curve to learn how to fly with a drone. It's not like you can just open the box and start flying if you want to learn how to fly in mini mode. You gotta first go into the simulator, do a lot of practicing. There's a video I made where I learned how to fly FPV drone in 72 hours. And I got so much motion sickness when I was learning how to fly in the simulator that I literally had to have my head out the window while flying and practicing. So the first con is it's a steep learning curve to learn how to fly an FPV drone. Now it has gotten a lot easier, especially if you want to use just the motion controller, but if you want to learn how to use full manual mode with a normal controller, then the learning curve is steeper. The second con is that there's a lot of times where the footage isn't as smooth, it can be a little bit jittery, and there's a lot more work you gotta do in post when it comes to stabilization to make it look good. Whereas with the traditional drones, they just look good and stabilize right away, and you don't have to worry about that. And the last con when it comes to FPV drones is that even though these are not as expensive as the traditional drones, you're most likely going to either crash or lose a lot more of the FPV drones, meaning in the long run, it can get quite expensive. Okay, so when you do go out and buy your first drone, consider these questions to figure out which type of drone you should get. First, what are you prioritizing? Do you want more lightweight drone that's easy to take along with you, gets the job done, and is affordable? Then I would get something like the Mini 4 Pro. Whereas then if your priority is to get the best looking footage out of your drone and to be able to fly in the harshest conditions, then I would get something like the Mavic 3 Pro. And then last, if you want those really immersive, crazy follow shots, I would get an FPV drone like the DJI Avata 2. So at this point, you're probably all wondering, which drone do I use? I have all these drones here on the table. Which drone do I end up using on a daily basis? And the answer is, because I am a full-time content creator, I'm using the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Even though I own all these high-quality, expensive drones, I always find myself going to the Mini 4 Pro because it's just so lightweight, easy to take along with you. It films high-quality 4K footage, and as well, the fact that I can film landscape and vertical, which is just so handy when I'm filming long-form videos and as well making short-form content for Instagram or TikTok. This is just the drone for me. Is this a drone for everyone? No, but for someone like me who's a full-time content creator, the Mini 4 Pro just gets the job done. Now, if I wasn't a YouTube content creator, and let's say I was a full-time filmmaker making really high-end commercials, then I'd definitely get something like the Mavic 3 Pro or even the Inspire 3 if I was crazy enough. But for me right now in this life situation, the DJI Mini 4 Pro suits me best. All right, that's a wrap. Hopefully this video will help you decide which drone to get in 2024. Again, if you're new to this channel, you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'd love to have you a part of this community. We'll see you next week.